All right. It is 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and welcome to Christmas in the Fall. So happy you have joined me for this series of 5 workshops. We're going to learn 10 songs that you can play for the holiday season of all different types, from traditional carols to more modern music. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take a look at We Wish You a Merry Christmas. And we'll take a look at our fundamentals to start things off. First of all, we are in DAD tuning. 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp in our key signature, so we are in the key of D major. Our time signature is 3/4, so we have a waltz going on here. 3 beats in the measure, and the quarter note gets the beat. We have a pickup measure here. We'll go 2 beats and then take that quarter note beat on the 3rd beat as our pickup to the tune. All right. The next step is to take a look at our navigation, and right off the bat you can see in measure 2 that we've got a repeat symbol at the beginning of the measure. So we're going to be looking for where those repeat symbols are at the end of a measure. That's going to be right down here in measure 9. So we're going to play measures 2 through 9. Well, actually we're playing measures 1 through 9 with 2 counts and then the pickup note. So when we get to the end of measure 9, we're going to go ahead and go back to measure 2. And the pickup note that leads us in there is actually at the end of measure 9. So we don't have to worry about going back to measure 1 again. We're just going to go to measure 2. Now here you're not going to see any first or second endings. These are just whole sections that are repeated one time. Sometimes there will be a little indicator above a series of measures with these repeat symbols, and there will be a black bar with a number on the top of that. And that usually indicates how many times to repeat a section. You might see a 4 with a black bar, and then a group of 4 measures with repeat symbols bookending them. That would mean to play those 4 measures 4 times. So if you've really got a repetitious thing going on in an arrangement, that's a good way of saving page turns for your orchestra as well. So measures 2 through 9 we are going to just repeat one time. And then you can also see that measure 10 is the beginning of another repeat section. That's going to take us over to the next page. Now we've got some first and second endings. So let's see what we've got. At the end at measure 10, we had repeat symbols, and at the end of measure 17, we've got repeat symbols, and we also have a first ending. So that means we're going to play to the end of measure 17, and then we're going to go back to measure 10, and we are going to start again from that location. This time we're going to go up to the end of measure 16, and we're not going to play measure 17 again because it's under a first ending, which means, again, we can only go in there one time for each time we pass through the tune. So we're going to go from the end of measure 16 right here, and we're going to jump over to measure 18, which is the second ending. Don't worry, it gets weirder. Measure 19, there's a couple of things to notice here. First of all, yes, we do have another repeat symbol to be aware of. And why don't we just find out where that other one is right this moment, right this very minute. But I'm getting old of myself, getting ahead of myself. Measure 19, we're going to go to the end of measure 26, and we're going to repeat that. At the end of measure, at the beginning of measure 27, we've got another repeat symbol there. There's a da signo in measure 19, and that's this cute little sign right here. And then also coda, or DCL coda. which is the crosshairs looking thing at the end of measure 26. Those are big jump to spots that we're going to be dealing with here in a second. So remember where they're located. Signo is up by the second ending, and DCL coda is down right towards the end of page 2. So with our linear navigation in mind, we're going to go from measure 27, where those repeat symbols are, and go to the next page over, and you can see that our symbols are going to wrap up at measure 34. That means we're going to play all the way up to the end of measure 34, and then go back to measure 27 and come straight through and play to measure 34 again. Repeat everything within those repeat symbols one time. But also right there at the end of the measure is da signo. That means to the sign in Italian when it's at the end of a measure. So we want to now go back to where we saw this at the beginning of a measure. So from measure 34, we are going to go back to measure 19, where signo is. And by the way, this made it so this was not a 7-page tablature. So from da signo towards the end, we hop on board the signo, and all repeats still apply, which means that we go ahead and play from measure 19 to measure 26. Sometimes I do this just one time, depends on how I'm playing through the piece, but we can repeat that again. And right there at that repeat symbol, at the end of measure 26, we also have our DCL coda. And that's going to take us to the very last section of the piece. So we're looking for that same symbol, and that is going to be right here at the start of measure number 35. And then we go out with a very fanciful chord ending, chord progression. So there's a lot of navigation, and what I will do is I'm going to walk you through it now. I'm going to play it.
Bing.
Yes. Well, wait, let me finish my sentence. I'm going to walk you through it now. I'm going to walk you through it now with the page turns and everything so you can hear it. And then I'm going to turn on the overhead camera, and then I'll just play it for you, you know, without me stopping every few moments to show you what's going on. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, just wanted to double check. We do the designa first, and then we do the coda after that, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm ready to follow. Thank you.
Right. All right, so let me go ahead and get back to the start here. Okay, so from the beginning. And then repeat from measure 2. Measure 10. Next page. That's the first ending. That's going to take us with pickup note from the end of measure 17 back to measure 10. Right there at the end of measure 17, measure 16, we got the 4-2. The next thing we're going to hit is going to be the 0-0-0 in measure 18. That's the second ending. And then our pickup note's going to be on the middle string, and then we get into measure 19. that's measure 26. We're going to repeat and go back to measure 19 with our pickup note. A pickup note takes us into measure 27. Pickup note will take us back to measure 27. Sorry. Okay, now that is measure 34. We're taking da signo to where it is located on the previous page. It's going to take us back to the chorus, "We Wish You a Merry Christmas," at measure 19. Sorry. Try to do two things at once here. And then repeat. And then that 3 at the end of measure 26 will take us, we're going to take that DCL coda now. That's going to lead us into measure 35. So that 3 will go, and then measure 35. And that is the navigation moving through the piece, and just kind of a brief at how that's going to sound when we move it together. So let me go ahead and stop sharing. Ask if you, first of all, while I still have the music up, do you have any questions about the navigation?
Yes,
Yeah.
please. This is Linda.
Hold on, I got a couple of you going at once.
Oh.
Or maybe I'm just hearing myself. I think I'm just hearing myself. Go ahead, Linda.
Okay. I have a question about the repeats with the 19 through the 26 and the 27. Your 26 and 27 look identical, but are we playing them twice when we go into the next section? I couldn't tell.
We're playing measures 19 through 26, and then we're playing it twice. And then when you go from measure 26, that second time, you'll move to measure 27, and you'll play measure 27 through measure 34 twice before going to da signo. So even though those two measures look similar, notice that measure 26 has the 3 on the middle string, while measure 27 has that quarter note 3 on the melody string. So they look similar rhythmically, but there's a slightly different thing happening there. But
Okay.
I understand that it looks sort of like a first and second ending might with the same sort of thing. But you will indeed be playing both of those measures twice, but one will be at the end of a section and the other will lead another section off.
Got it. Thank you. I missed that it was on two different notes. Thanks.
All righty. Any other questions on the navigation?
Bing,
Yeah.
when you go back to measure 19 on the del signo, are you taking that repeat again, the one that ends with the end of measure 26?
Yeah.
Before you go to the coda?
Yes.
Okay.
And the thing is, we're breaking these up off into obvious sections. This is just sort of how I've patterned going through it, but you can easily repeat that as many times as you want to have a verse sung. And so that's why we're going back to it, is to get some more choruses in. And then we've also got our verse section where we can find, the whole idea is once we get this carved up into pieces, we can go, this is verse, this is chorus, this is an intro, this is the outro, and then mix them up however you like, when you're caroling with people or performing it or singing yourself. In practice, I've been just running it one time. I don't even know why. But when I do it this time, yes, coming back from Da Signo, I will play it twice so that it follows the navigation. Any other questions on the navigation? All right. Well, actually, since I played through it, basically, I'm going to switch to the overhead camera. I just want to walk you through my approach with this because it is a little tricky. And the first thing I do want you to notice is that somewhere, at some places here, for example, let's take a look at measure 3. You'll see in measure 3 the notes that are happening on the bass string and on the middle string, and then nothing happening on the melody string. And that's for a reason. One of the secrets of chord melody style playing is you want to keep the melody as the highest pitched note in the chord. And so there are a number of times here that we need to go to the middle string to pick up that melody. And so you don't want to play anything higher than it because it'll get buried. So be very, very careful and try to use an in strum when you can so you don't have to worry about hopping over that melody string when we don't need it. You can see it's happening in measure number 5 as well. You can see it happening in a lot of different places. In the middle of the action sometimes, measure 7. It happens at measure 8. Being very careful with this is going to help you navigate this piece. If you just kind of play through it, it'll be a lot more hard for you to develop a grip for it like I'm going to show you here. Okay, let me just do this. Okay, I wanted you to have it one time through with me moving through it one time through. Now, let's look at the measures individually, and let me show you some of the stuff I worked out and suffered through so you don't have to.